Hi, welcome to another action-packed news update from me, with Waltham Abbey Greens. I'd love to say that there's some sort of artistic reason for the change of angle for this month, but frankly, it's just so I can show off my acoustic guitars. There you go. Right, as is increasingly traditional, let's kick off with the 250 and 251. Still no news. The Byman solicitors haven't had a reply from Essex County Council to their request for a meeting, so they're going to contact them again in the morning. I had some data back from EOS buses about the 66, which does quite clearly demonstrate that there were more passengers, well, certainly there were more passengers on a 66 than those recorded by Trusty Bus on the 250 and 251. And when you bear in mind that the 66 finishes a couple of hours earlier than the 251 at least did, so any later evening journeys won't be included in that, it's pretty obvious that the Essex County Council figures that they used to base their subsidy calculations on were mistaken. But as I say, I genuinely hope that we can have a meeting and come to an arrangement about alternative bus services, and it doesn't have to come to a judicial review, because that would just be a waste of taxpayers' money and a waste of everybody's time, frankly. So here's hoping that they get back to Bindmans and myself and that can be resolved before it gets any further. A local resident contacted me about a week ago about bins and cars obstructing a cycle path behind, well, at the end of Quaker Lane. They've contacted the county council and they've contacted highways and whatnot, and nothing much seems to have happened. I posted a photo on Facebook the other day which showed 3 vehicles obstructing that cycle path, and some of the responses I got were quite disappointing to say the least, but there are a lot of people that actually are concerned about this. This might seem trivial, but I think we should have a joined up cycle network through Epping Forest. I don't think that would be too much to ask. I think well, we do need to get more people on bikes. We need to get people out of the cars and onto their bikes, just for the future of the health service. But from anything, people cycling are less likely to get ill because they'll be fitter. It's pretty obvious, really. I'm going to contact the county council again and try to follow this up. But you might be interested in the Epping Forest Transport Action Group meeting, which is coming up in towards the end of February. When is it? Hang on. I think it's the 26th of February. Something like that. Anyway, there'll be details below. We should predominantly focus on cycling. George and Chris have been doing excellent sterling work on the cycling stuff. Yeah, come on if you can. It will be in the last post pub, unless we've got lots of people signing up, in which case we'll have to look at a different venue. Something else that's been raised with me a lot, both when I've been delivering newsletters and just speaking to people locally, and a couple of times on email, and it's cropped up a lot on Facebook, is the parking charges at the Gunpowder Mills and Waltham Abbey Gardens, specifically around disabled people. At the minute, everybody gets an hour free, and then everybody gets charged £2.50, whether they're, that means that's for the rest of the day, so I mean £2.50 for a day's parking isn't bad. That doesn't really help disabled people. It can take up to 15 minutes, so I'm told, for a wheelchair user to get out of the car and be set up ready to go and enjoy our, public spaces. If you've got 15 minutes getting in and getting out of the car, that only leaves you half an hour, which doesn't really seem fair. So I've emailed the appropriate people at Lee Valley Parks, and hopefully they'll go back to me and say, yeah, okay, free parking for disabled people, or if not that, at least grant them an extra hour. Well, a week or so ago I became aware of proposed plans to build retirement homes in part of Tesco's car park, which is currently used by Avis. I contacted the developers to point out that what we really need is social housing. We need affordable social housing. There's 1,500 people on a housing register, and the district council has proposed to build 300 homes over the next 10 years. That's 30 a year. That's not going to make much difference for the people that need housing now. At least with council housing, if the council builds its own houses, then the rent that goes out through housing benefit goes back to the council as rent. With private housing, the rent that's paid through housing benefit goes to the landlords and doesn't come back to the council. So, it makes financial sense for the council to build more council housing. as well as actually giving people somewhere to live. I'm extremely pleased and proud of Epping Forest Green Party's members for voting to not stand candidates in Loughton Residents Association held seats in May's district elections. This is purely because Loughton Residents Association are working very hard with the Save Jessel Green campaign to save Jessel Green. If one vote for a Green candidate contributed towards a councillor who we know is dedicated to save Jessel Green losing their seat to someone who isn't, well, I couldn't live with that personally. That would be a great disservice to Loughton and to Epping Forest generally. We don't endorse Loughton Residents Association any more than they endorse us, but I personally wish them all the best in most district elections. And obviously, I would ask you to vote Green in any other wards where we're standing, which hopefully will be most of them. Right, bit of Green Party news, proper Green Party news. I've set up a little email list to keep you up to date with news about Waltham Abbey. If you sign up to it, you won't be signed up to get emails for the National Green Party or anything like that. It'll just be for news about Waltham Abbey, basically the sort of stuff I put in these video news updates and the sort of stuff I put in the newsletters. Yeah, there are options to let us know how you want to volunteer. Obviously, you don't have to, but it'd be nice if you could, because we do have a team, but it's a small one. And it takes a lot of time and effort to do the newslettering and various other bits and bobs. So if you can help, please do. But if not, just sign up for the news updates, and I promise not to spam you. It'll just be, as I say, the sort of stuff that I put down here. Also on the Green Party front, we've got an action day coming up this Saturday in Buckhurst Hill. Get along if you can. We need to try and make sure that Stephen Neville is re-elected, because he's a very good councillor. He's very well respected, he's very well liked, and he really does work hard, and he's achieved a lot for Buckhurst Hill since being elected, and it'd be nice if he could achieve more. So thank you for sitting through this. Please sign up to our email list. If you can come along to Buckhurst Hill on Saturday, that would be grand. If not, no worries. See you soon.